Cathie Wood just bought the dip in Tesla stock for the first time in a long time. Is this the dip before a big rip? We need to talk about that because I think you guys need to know this information. Also, Wednesday's flash crash event. Well, this has not happened in over 10 years. And there's a rumor that's circulating that could be devastating for our markets if true. Although I do want to err on the side of caution and be hopefully optimistic and say it's probably false. We'll break down exactly with a little bit more clarity what this flash crash was, where I think Tesla is going from here, and what is the significance of Cathie Wood buying Tesla stock again. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with this flash crash event that we seen on Wednesday. There's really two different things that could have happened. And number one is simple. The RSI was at about 83. You were overbought. There was some profit taking. That just turned into a big downside move. It could be that simple, but there is a big rumor that is actually circulating, and what you're seeing, the context, doesn't look great. Banana3 posted this on X. People are circulating rumors of a Chinese message talking about taking over Taiwan. I call BS on that, but if true, it would be devastating. Unfortunately, coming at an apex so extra avalanche juice. All I know for now. Obviously, the second part is a joke. He then goes on to say, I mentioned on my previous post the rumored news. I don't want to repeat it because it's unsubstantiated. With that said, was a mini flash crash before all-time highs exactly what was needed to get to all-time highs? And that could make a lot of sense as well. You need a reset in the RSI to continue higher from here. But let's entertain this rumor for just a second. Right now, Beijing's stock market is down 7%. Little bit more than 7%. Yeah, that's insane. That's off the charts. If that happened to our markets would stop trading for 15 minutes. You would see a trading halt. That has really only ever happened in recent history during the Rona crash on March 13th of 2020. If you lived through that time, if you were an investor during that time, that was a, I guess you will, frightening, exciting moment. But that doesn't happen all the time, even for China. What you've seen on Wednesday, this flash crash event, was really so unique because it hasn't happened in a very long time, specifically about 10 years ago. B spoke on X. Right. The last time the SPY hit a 52-week high but finished down over 1% on the day was nearly 10 years ago, on April 4th of 2014. Now, this news is exciting for Tesla stock investors. This is good news, and it could help explain partly why the Chinese stock market is down 7%, but this news came out about 30 minutes ago, so it's probably not affecting the Chinese market 7%. Let's be honest, the markets were already down, but is it a possibility Chinese investors knew this was coming? Sure. Okay, that's possible. Gurgavin says, just in, U.S. government is considering raising tariffs on some Chinese goods, including electric vehicles, per Wall Street Journal. We'll talk about this more in the next video, but this is really good news for Tesla specifically. Hopefully it means less competition as NIO and some other Chinese automakers want to start selling their vehicles in the US. That would be bad news for Tesla. And the longer they stay out of the US, the better for Tesla stock investors. Simple as that. Jason Shapiro says, well, this must be the credit event. Let's effing go. Now again, I don't want to dive too far into the realm of speculation, but the Chinese President Xi, warned Biden during that summit back in San Francisco where Biden called Xi a dictator. Remember that one? You probably heard the headline, seen the comments there. Well, he warned him during the summit that Beijing will reunify Taiwan with China. So coming 2, 3, 4 weeks later, we're now getting some secret messages that are being sent about China potentially, starting some kind of conflict with Taiwan. I think it's a very low probability, but it's a probability you shouldn't ignore, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Overall, I would say there's probably like a 1% chance, less than that is actually going to happen sometime in the next couple of months, and that's why stocks sold off. I would say most likely it's just a massive reversion of what we have seen over the past couple of weeks to kind of reset the markets a little bit. Heisenberg says Tesla January 300 calls. You're welcome. This comes the same day as Cathie Wood and ARK Invest bought 111,387 shares of Tesla stock today. It looks like she took advantage of the dip we seen and bought herself some Tesla. She also bought Square as well as Zoom. She sold Coinbase and the Bitcoin Investment Trust. This is the first time we have seen Cathie buy Tesla stock in quite a while. She's been a net seller of Tesla for months now. Usually when Cathie Woods is buying Tesla, it's normally a good time to also be pretty bullish on Tesla as well, especially considering Tesla has rallied a lot from the 194, 195 range all the way up to the 260 range in the last 2 months or so, and she feels comfortable buying Tesla at these elevated prices. That's probably a good sign of a continued rally to come. Specifically, the last time we saw this technical setup on Tesla's daily chart was back in July of 2021. Tesla ran 85% in 90 days after that breakout. And that's really a breakout of a longer term trend. You get that breakout, you can trade sideways for a little while. And then you see the dollars really start to come in. And that's kind of my expectation. Now, I don't know if it'll be 85%, but it is my expectation that Tesla stock can reach 300, if not higher, by the pretty early start of 2024. I'm talking some point in January. But even would I be surprised if somehow Tesla stock hits 300 by the end of this year? Well, actually, no. There's about 15 or 20 different reasons to be buying Tesla right now, or at least to be bullish on Tesla. And there's one reason to be bearish on Tesla. And that would be some form of recession coming about in 2024. Although that looks like a smaller chance basically every day that passes. I think this one's pretty accurate as well from Gurgavin. He says all the shorts in my comments today be like, I shorted here. Let's go. I told you so. Yeah, we're still up big time. And I think it's going to take a lot more than some random sell-off to derail this rally at this point. After all, the Russell 2000 has gained 24% over the last 36 trading days, one of the biggest small cap rallies in history. Now, Fundstrat's managing director and global head of technical strategy said this following the flash crash on Wednesday. Quote, Wednesday's rapid about face is a short-term negative and represents the beginning of a short-term decline. Pullbacks into Friday of this week and or next Tuesday likely should prove buyable for a move back to exceed SPX 4,818. That would put the SPY, if you track that instead of the S&P 500 itself, that would put the SPY at about 481. The areas that Fundstrat's technical research is basically indicating the SPY could fall to is about 465 on the SPY to as low as 450, although I see that as a little bit less likely. SPY is currently trading at $468.73. And you did see a little bit of a bounce after the lows of that flash crash on Wednesday. So that looks pretty good. You have, again, reset your bullish technical indicators back to a more normal range, and that is also favorable if you are a bull in this market. We also have the US GDP growth rate final numbers for Q3 that comes out on Thursday. We're expecting a strong number of 5.2%. That's a little bit higher than the previous number that we did have. So if you come in good, 5.2% or higher, that's going to be great news for our markets. If you come in really low for whatever reason, that's not going to be so great. On Friday, you have your big data. That is going to be your core PCE month over month, durable goods orders month over month, personal spending month over month, as well as personal income month over month. I'm expecting bullish numbers here. I'm expecting a good economy, weak PCE. If I'm wrong, then I'll be wrong. But if I'm right, that would likely send markets higher yet again. Gary Black says the 10-year dropped 8.5 basis points on Wednesday to 3.85%. Normally, such a decline would boost long-duration growth stocks like Tesla, since they represent value of earnings many years out is worth more at a sharply lower discount rate. That, plus strong earnings after the close by tech bellwether MU, could allow growth names to recover on Thursday and throughout the rest of this week. Let's be honest, after all, Cathie Woods buying during a flash crash-like event, just to circle back to Cathie here, it's a pretty good sign that this is not the end-all be-all. Cathie was selling on the last rally higher in Tesla. What happened? Tesla ultimately fell back to the 195 range. The fact that she's buying today right before a major resistance level, which could lead to a further breakout, I would say is a pretty good sign for Tesla, but not just Tesla, for our broader markets. If Tesla does poorly, odds are everything's going to do poorly, and vice versa. From here, if Tesla can start to break out above the 260, 261 level, then you're going to start breaking multi-year trends, and that's going to be very bullish for Tesla stock, and that's ultimately why I think Tesla will likely rally much higher from here. The path of least resistance, where stocks tend to go, is higher for Tesla. There's many more reasons to be bullish on Tesla than bearish. And that's the simplest way to put it. We know there is catalyst coming on the near-term horizon. We do know FSD is going to enter into the Chinese market some point in China, some point in December or January. It could be tomorrow, for all we know. It could be next week. Could be 2 weeks from now. But there's a lot of rumors on this. This is something that I think is probably 60, 70% odds this happens in December or January. That's another big catalyst that will likely push us higher into the forecasted $300+ range, as I expect. Wednesday's flash crash was also a great resetter for Tesla's RSI. Tesla's RSI was at about 66, which is not over 70, so you technically weren't overbought, but you were getting close to that nonetheless. This drop on Tesla, which really puts us back to where we were on December 14th, 6 days ago, 4 trading days or so, and you reset the RSI back to 55. So Tesla's really just neutral now. It can allow for a larger upside move from here. Also, I think it's worth noting that even on Wednesday, you had a positive order value of 43% in Tesla options. So it's not like everyone was heading for protection in Tesla stock, right? And you did have a lot of dollars trade hands with big money. Hedge funds and institutions bought or sold $3.29 billion worth of Tesla. Now, hedge funds and institutions are always going to lean a little bit more negative as far as option positioning, because odds are they're just trying to hedge out some of their larger positions. Even what you've seen on Tuesday, you had a positive order value of 23%. So I think when you add these things together, this is more so a short-term blip in a larger uptrend. But I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing my opinions. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you made it to the end of this video. If you guys also want to come trade with us, every time I make a trade, I send out alerts. I have a specific strategy that I employ around earnings that have been giving us some massive returns. $200 into $5,000. That was just today. Over the past week or so, 2 weeks or so, we have hit some stupid trades, just off the charts kind of trades due to this specific strategy. If you want to come learn it, come employ it, come get involved in the community, check out that link down below in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.